This is going to be a Class B CDL, no restrictions, right? We're going to have our air brakes and we're going to have a manual transmission. And let's go ahead and get into the cab. Let's get into it. You want to make sure that you always enter the vehicle using 3 points of contact. Sometimes that can be an instant fail. Boop, done, right? So make sure you use 3 points of contact getting in and out. And when having someone come into the vehicle, also ask them to use 3 points of contact. Once I use 3 points of contact to enter the vehicle, I am going to shut the door. I'm going to grab my seat belt. I'm going to verify that the strap is in good condition, right? It is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's properly secured in good working condition. We're going to clip it in and out, make sure that it works as it should. And then we're going to check safety, safety, safety. First thing is the red safety box. Underneath the seat, there's a red safety box. It is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, and it's in good working condition. Inside that red box, we have 3 red reflective triangles. They are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, and they're in good working condition. Also inside that red box are spare fuses, right? They may ask you, and or you should probably know just from reading the CDL book, that you can have a minimum of 6 spare fuses in that red box. They are not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, in good working condition. Also, with all this safety, we're going to go with the fire extinguisher. Properly charged and rated per this vehicle. It's not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured, in good working condition. The last of the safeties is the safety start, right? What's so safe about it? Well, the keys are in your pocket. That's what's safe about it. We're not doing nothing until we pull those suckers out. And we're going to pull them out. And we're going to stick the key in the ignition, right? Explain it to them like they're a baby. Truck's in neutral, right? Brakes on. I'm going to put my foot on the clutch. Push it in, engage it, right? I'm going to turn that key. You hear it cycling through, cycle, 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 right? And at that time, the ABS light comes on, letting us know that it functions as it should to vehicle specifications. Sometimes that's the only time the ABS light comes on. It comes on and it turns off. If it doesn't turn off, that means something's wrong, right? So we're just going to start this vehicle. Now the vehicle is started and it is running, right? Let's just go with glass. Let's start with our side mirrors, driver's side and passenger side mirrors. They're adjusted to my liking, right? I can see through them the way I want to, and they are not cracked, bent, or broken. They're properly secured in good working condition. There are also no missing loose nuts or bolts, right? They're connected to the truck. There is no illegal stickers or any kind of debris on them that I can see. We have our side windows. We have our little mini windows here on the sides as well. Neither driver's side or passenger side are cracked, bent, or broken. Properly secured, and they are also in good working condition, free of any kind of illegal stickers and or debris, right? And the last of the glass, let's go ahead and do the front windshield. Front windshield is not cracked, bent, or broken. It's properly secured in good working condition, free of any kind of debris or any kind of illegal stickers. And underneath the windshield, we have our dash, free of debris. It is not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured in good working condition. While we're looking at our front windshield, though, let's not forget our windshield wipers, windshield wiper blades, and windshield wiper assemblies, right? So we're going to press this button over here, make sure these suckers work. Show our instructor, hey, we're good to go. If it starts to rain or something like that, rock and roll. They're not cracked, bent, or broken, properly secured in good working condition. They all work to vehicle specifications. And we're going to go ahead and run our hand down the dash here. We're going to get to our heater and defroster. Make sure that you have your heater and your defroster on. There's a knob down here that makes it so you can use both, right? Turn that sucker on full blast, and you put your hand up top and your hand down bottom. Essentially, you're going to have heat coming from both up top and bottom. Let them know that it's not cracked, bent, or broken properly. Something smart to do when we go ahead and get into our gauges is make sure that your headlights are on, right? Flip that toggle switch up or the turn knob, whatever you need to do, and turn those on. And then start in with your gauges, right? We have our water temperature gauge is located here. It is at working at vehicle specifications. We have our oil pressure gauge right here, and it is at working at vehicle specifications. We have our voltmeter here, working at vehicle specifications. We have our depth gauge and our fuel gauge, and it is running at vehicle specification. It works as it should, right? We have our primary and secondary air gauges. They're working at vehicle specification. And we're also then going to go ahead and say that all of our gauges are working as they should, dash gauges, and they're working at vehicle specifications. Make sure you close it out with a, hey, they all work, right? And then we're going to go ahead and go with the left blinker. It's located here, working at vehicle specification. We're going to go with the right blinker, located here, working at vehicle specification. We're going to go with our high beams, hands-free, right? Remember, we talked about turning your headlights on. Make sure those suckers are on before you turn the brights on. And then you have your hazard lights which are located here and here, working at vehicle specifications. Let's go ahead and close this out just like we did with the gauges. Hey, all of our light indicators are working as they should to vehicle specifications. After we got done through the gauges and the light indicators, we're going to go ahead and test our horn. And while we're here at the horn, remember, keep your hand on the horn. We're going to slide it up into the primary and secondary air gauges. This is extremely important, as that is what our air governor is showing us, for the air to build up. And it has to build up in the state of Oregon 100 to 125, 100 to 125 PSI for it to be working appropriately for this vehicle. So we're going to explain that, yes, the horn is not cracked, bent, or broken, right? Properly secured, and it's in good working condition. Vehicle specifications, and both primary and secondary air governor shutoff is working appropriately as well, shutting off from 100 to 125 PSI. Since the truck is sitting here and we're just parked right with our emergency brake pulled out, we're going to go ahead and test our emergency brake. You're going to go ahead and take your clutch. Say, I'm going to stick this into first gear. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push up against the emergency brake to make sure that it works as it should by just putting it lightly into gear and tugging against it. Okay, that truck did not move, and that's letting us know that our emergency brake works as it should. And since we're talking about the emergency brake and we're already in gear, we might as well leave it in gear and push in our emergency brake. At this point, we're going to pull up about 3 to 5 miles an hour and stop. Not only do we stop, we know now that our service brake works, right? But what else? The truck did not move to the left or right, doesn't indicate anything with our tires or suspension or wear inside of our brakes, anything clunking going on in the front end. So remember, the truck's still in first gear, right? We just tested our service brake. So it's time to explain why we don't need to get out and set a chalk, right? The truck's a manual transmission. It's fair to say that if I leave it in gear, the truck will not move forward or backwards, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the truck off, let the air governor go back up to 100 to 125 PSI and stop for the air governor, right? So then we're going to go ahead and shut the truck off, put the gear in, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the key on. That way our gauges work. If you don't do that, the gauges won't work as they should, right? We're going to go ahead and we're going to hold our foot down for 60 seconds, and we're going to do a leak test or a leak down test. This is going to test the system to make sure that this thing holds air like it's supposed to, right? So we're going to put our foot down on the brake pedal. But as soon as you put your foot down on the brake pedal, it loses a little bit of air. So you're going to go ahead and let that settle. And once it settles, we're going to then count to 60. Ask the instructor, hey man, is it cool if I use my cell phone right now? You're going to want exact time on this, okay? So once you get to that 60 seconds, you're going to release. And in a Class B CDL truck, you cannot lose any more than 3 PSI within 60 seconds. Let them know that, hey, we did not lose any air in our system during that. We're now going to test our low air indicator. It's a visual audible warning system that comes on during low air situations, right? Once we drop to 60 PSI, no less than 55 PSI, our low air indicator light will come on. So we're going to go ahead and pump these brakes down, right? Soon you're going to hear a beeping noise. This is letting us know that the low air indicator is working appropriately. Remember those numbers though, right? 60, no less than 55. It's really to vehicle specifications, but most of your guys' CDL books, it's no less than 55 PSI for low air indicator. In the state of Oregon, Class B tests don't usually ask you to check your emergency spring brake, but just in case they do, it pops on from 20 to 45 PSI. This is a safety mechanism that this truck has just in case you are losing air at a rapid speed. Shuts your air off completely, stopping the vehicle. My emergency spring brake works as it should, to vehicle specifications.